Hello and welcome back to Purple in Peril, a Warlock life. This is level 26. Seems to be a recurring theme this recently. Purple just sitting cooling his feet in the fountain. We just took 26 with the Fate Spinner here, so we're taking advantage, having a bit of a breather. Before reaching the 26, I did the 3 quests in the 12, the White Plume Mountain and Other Tales quest. So what is it? Another Man's Treasure, kind of a big deal, and the memory loss one. He was quite suited to all in different ways. The swimming section with the traps, although he doesn't have invasion, the fact that Shining Through is able to be triggered underwater, as we saw in the Fathom the Depths quest, is helpful. Although, honestly, hand on heart, I didn't run into any of the traps this time, so I was quite pleased with that, having been mauled in there in my early attempts on it. He was very well suited to the memory loss as well, with all those bothersome cupboard things that spawn all the bits of books and things that are just a nightmare for ranged pew-pew classes, but he dealt with it no problem. I know, shock horror, and an AoE caster type does well in that kind of quest. I suppose maybe I had reasonably low expectations of him as a low number of lives character, and not knowing how the Enlightened Spirit build would play very well, because I have very limited experience, just limited to the last life basically on this character. But I've been very pleasantly surprised. It's quite a nice playstyle, simple enough. I mean, I mentioned at the very start of this series, to try to turn people away from this. Oh God, there's so many things on the bar. There's as I said in my druid build guide, you can get away with, what have I been using? Just 6 spells basically. We've got the 2 big AoEs, the Tempest and the Tentacles, and our 4 spell-like abilities down here. And that's it. The beauty of this last one is it's both attack and defense. Every time you trigger that, you get temporary hit points as well. So that should always be on cooldown if you're in battle. Just really good. So I don't actually have, oh I do, I have the 1 heal spell. Now that's been the one weakness. The cocoon on its own is on a reasonably long cooldown. I would like the renewal from the epic unyielding sentinel to go with it, to give me a bit more survivability, because once they get through the temp hit points, that just can't keep me up very well. So then once that happens, I tend to use Stange as like an emergency temp hit points to try to stay up, and it's been working well. I've been the 3 and the 12 I just mentioned I did on Reaper 4. Alright, I'm a bit over the level for them, but even so, I was pleased with how he went there. Those stone gargoyle guardians, or whatever they are, at the end of Another Man's Treasure, they're hit quite hard, and he was able to stand up to them, not easily, but he did stand up to them and beat them, so that was nice. And the playstyle in general, the leveling playstyle at least, reminds me a little bit of what I used to do as an alchemist. I used to go in the middle of the creatures, flash freeze, and hammer everything with the energy burst. And this isn't too dissimilar. I'll put the 2 big AoEs down and go and burrow myself in the middle of it, and hit the 2 burst blasts. This Carrion Swarm is nice. It's on a very short cooldown, costs almost no spell points, and is affecting the creatures around the target as well. So, happy days. What else was I going to say? Do you know, I can't read my own writing. I've actually made some little notes here, and oh yeah, yeah, I've already mentioned it, haven't I? I would like to get to progress on to get the renewal. I keep saying that, and I keep finding points to spend in the other trees. As we just took 26, we came eligible for the third cause, both of which are nice, and both of which I would like to keep for the final build. This one because it gives more spell power in everything that we want to build. Acid, force, poison, that's just perfect for us. So each core is giving that, and universal as well. So each core is worth 10 acid, force and poison spell power for us. And this core, as I've mentioned before, is a source of temp hit points, which is what the build is all about. So really nice. I was able to dip into the fourth core here as well, more spell power. So I've kind of been building for spell power and ignoring the tanky tree, which I'm supposed to be ending up in. It's caused me a bit of aggravation because I would like a bit more fortification, which I could get there, and this heal I would like. But all in all, I think it's been a good and fun strategy for leveling a build like this. If you were with a group, then by all means throw things into here and just do the tanking for the group. But as that's not the case with me, I've found this to be pretty good. And it's by no means amazing, but 500 plus now for the spell powers that matter. I'll take that. And bearing in mind we've got what have we got? We've got 200 and no, is it it's 300 on top now, because we've got maximise, intensify and empower on everything that we cast that's offensive. So it's effective 800 plus, which isn't bad at all. The Tempest, especially when you cast that, things just tend to melt away. Very good against Reapers and end bosses, that kind of thing. I won't leave this on too long, so hopefully you won't see the derisory armor class. I mean, come on, we're getting in towards well, mid to high epics now, and he doesn't even have 100 armor class on a character wearing medium armor and a shield, and supposedly a bit tanky. He's actually got as well, with the perfect shield mastery, 20% to shield's contribution to your AC. So it's it's leaving room for improvement, isn't it? That said, let's focus on the positive. The hit points aren't terrible, and once you get the temp hit points going, it's not bad at all. The displacement is a great line of defense. These two saves I'm more than happy with. I'm kind of cheating on both of them. That fortitude one, obviously, con is our main stat. Plus we're getting 6 out of the draconic tree. And this will, we've got force of personality, so we're not using the rubbish wisdom, we're using the charisma to boost that. So yeah, you can see the fortification's a bit low. I think I once read you should aim for, is it level times 10 or something like that? Although I did read as well that above 100 the usefulness tails off quite dramatically. I haven't noticed too many spiky damages. I mean, the red crowns are always going to go through you regardless of what you've got. So I'm still sticking by this being a viable strategy and fun. It would have been a lot less fun, in my opinion, to chip away at things and have each quest taking twice as long, but be basically unkillable. And for what it's worth, I'm probably tempting fate here, but I haven't died yet on this life, at least not that I can remember. And he has done, as I mentioned, some Reaper 4. Speaking of which, we've been rewarded with our 20th Reaper point, because I was getting, what, 1,000 plus Reaper XP for some of those Reaper 4s. I did some in the High Road, which we've completed now. Some in the Catacombs, and those 3 in the 12 that I've just mentioned. So, happy days. Just got this one more to go for to climb the mountain of the 21. Which on a build like this would be lovely. Right, is he ever going to do anything, you're asking? Let me just check. I haven't missed something else in here. I'm going to have to learn to write neater notes, or at least put them in a form I can reasonably understand. No, I think that's it. Right, so I'm sitting here because, where is it? Just behind us, I think, is the quest I'm going to try and do. Now, unfortunately, I've checked this is a 21 on Epic, and I'm a 26, so I am going to lose half of the bravery bonus, I'm guessing, for doing this. But I did want to try, just see how survivable the build can be. We'll not go for anything crazy. I think we'll just leave Reaper 1 for this. This is a very nice source of collecting tokens of the 12. First time completing. It doesn't say anything about a bravery bonus there, does it? Is that because there's no bonus at all, I wonder? Anyway, not to worry. This is the one we've decided upon.
Storm Reach guards huddle at their barricades. The stench of brimstone.
For any of you who've ever run this quest, I'm guessing you'll be well aware of the, shall we say, longer than average gaps between the phases, which is the main bone of contention people have with it, I think.
The portals of Shavarath flare with activity. The attack has begun.
Oh, they got through me already. That's not good. But I'm going to be taking full advantage of these breathers, so my heal will come off cooldown. As far as I remember, these first 2 phases, everything gathers round you in the middle, which will suit us. The ones later on, when they're all sort of strewn around in bits and bats, I think that's going to be less good for us. So I'm going to be making big use of the temporary hit points. See, they are getting through the... I have to run a bit here. Yeah, if it wasn't for the fact that they pause between each wave, I'd be in real trouble, because I can't keep up with the temp hit points here. You're at your most vulnerable towards the beginning of the quest with this build, because you don't have any stanch available. Now I do have one, if a really nasty situation should come. So yes, these pauses are giving me the chance to get my heal and my big attacks off, big AoE attacks off cooldown. So that's nice. I mentioned in previous episodes, the sleet storm has been criminally underused. So let's try and make use of it a bit more here. Gather round, people, gather round. Actually, I'm not sure about this. We've had this issue before. I'm not sure whether it's just better to leave it off so I can actually see what I'm doing. Aside from the alchemist playstyle which I described earlier, this kind of playstyle is very alien to me. I've almost always previously played characters who like to keep the opponents at range, you know, kite them down or whatever. So the sort of throw things down and get in the middle, get stuck in, is quite fun actually. Having the survivability to do that, to play the sort of in-your-face style without actually being a melee is it's different. I've enjoyed it so far. And from what I saw last live, which was kind of the tester, I guess, for this, I have a feeling this build could live up to the job I have planned for it, which is not to go in the mega high reapers. I just don't think it would cut it, but certainly to take some of the heat off some of our squishier characters in our group, and we do have quite a few. In sort of mid reaper, like 6, I would think. 6 would probably be the limit. If he could do that, and I think he probably can, that would be lovely. We've got like rangers and alchemists, like ranged rangers, and then the types of things that just die in a passing breeze, like my archer Red. He would love a character like this to play with, that concentrates all the opponents around him. I won't say for a second that it could compete with the Paladin, because I'm pretty sure that it can't in the tanking stakes. In fact, as I've said previously, I would take from what I've seen in our group, one of our group has a tanky Paladin. It's very, very good. We've done Reaper 8 and it was like, for the rest of us at the back, it was like sitting there in a dressing gown and slippers for all the damage we had to take. He had over 5,000 hit points, lots of defences, just really good, as long as one of us was keeping him healed. I mean, the advantage the Warlock has is in the sort of lower Reapers, he needs a lot less healer attention than the Paladin does, because he deals a lot more in the temporary hit points. but as you go higher up and the incoming damage outstrips the temporary hit points, the paladin and like barbarian tanks win every time. There's just no way you compete. But for me at least, this build is more fun than those would be. It depends on your preference, on your play style. This was a way to sort of preserve the caster type play style, never swinging the. I just don't like swinging the weapon. So that's why I thought I'd give it a try. That, and I have many Warlock past lives under my belt. So I kind of wanted to revisit the class, I guess. Call it for sentimental reasons.
As the wave of devils ebbs, a leader of Shavarath steps through the portal to engage you.
You will call on me again.
A leader of Shavarath has fallen. You feel the battle may allow you a moment's rest and time to loot the bodies.
Let's just get rid of these so we don't have to listen to it for another 10 minutes. Actually, I think I might be relieved that the section with everything flooding the middle might be over now, because we were getting into our actual hit points despite my best efforts. Obviously I'm not going to use the shrine because I'm going to lose all my stanch potential. That, and I've no need whatsoever to use the shrine. Thank you, Evergreen, for all this goodness you're sending my way. I think I mentioned, I can't remember in which one it was, but I definitely touched on the nice things that can come from here. Aside from the tokens of the 12, you've got the, I think I'm wearing one, aren't I? There, look, the Shard of Power. Now you can't do it with the Greater or the, whatever the top level is, the Greatest, is it? But with the standard Shard of Power, you can use it as a Canith craftable trinket, provided you don't go below minimum level 13. That's the minimum level for those for some reason. So that's another nice reason to run this chain. Also, if you're at all interested, the
savage war cries of Shavarath's devil armies issue forth from
the
portals.
heroic green steel
Enemy
ingredients
reinforcements
drop
have
from here.
arrived.
Perhaps a bit niche nowadays, maybe limited use, but the displacement clickables are nice if you have a class that doesn't cast it natively. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be too disappointed at the opponents being sort of spread out now and not rushing me in the middle, because some of those, granted I could have handled them better, but some of them were a bit panicky when they all come flying in like that, and when there's a few red crowns thrown into the middle of the mix. To watch the buffs. I think we've still got enough of the standard ones left. terrible as well for not targeting immediately the biggest threat, like the red crowns. That's one thing one of our other group mates all does very well. It's almost her favourite phrase. Remnants at my feet. Every other minute she's there like that. She favours either a ranged build or she's enjoying her Spellsinger Bard as well at the moment. Which could link me into the next little project we have planned. I was thinking of trying a little bit like this, but a bit more ambitious. Something with the new archetypes I thought we could try, because Purple is kind of into poison and acid. I thought maybe he could do the Blightcaster, and Aula's, she has for a long time she would only play ranged characters. I thought maybe she could have a go with the new, what's it called, Dark Hunter. We were thinking we might level up together and sort of chronicle our observations, the things we liked, the things we liked less, the things we struggled with, compared to the sort of vanilla class, as I have quite a bit of experience with the Cold Caster Druid, and she's played a lot of ranged Ranger. She tends to like the pure Ranger as opposed to the multi-classes. So I think we could stipulate, if we do go ahead with that, pure class 20 Druid and 20 Ranger, and also we would have to go tier 5 in the appropriate trees, so no cheesing like a lot of people did, including myself. I'll hold my hand up, with the Sacred Fist going all out in the Vistani tree and just a couple of points in Sacred Fist. We would go full tier 5 in the Blightcaster and the Dark Avenger, so we'd get some kind of experience as to what the things have to offer. Tough. Oh, Fear Reaper. That's an example of my tunnel vision, my god. How did I not notice that, just standing there on its own in the middle of the room?
As the wave of devils ebbs,
Okay.
a leader of Shavarath steps through the portal to engage you.
Let's try not to die too horribly. Egg levels, oh lord. So I need to remember to refresh my buffs after this. And see if we can get rid of the trash.
Welcome to your doom.
That's it, you'll come and stand in my Tempest. Okay, so we took our time, but we got there. Right, so get rid of the neg levels. Can we use the greater? Yeah, we can. It's been a while until I was able to use the greater resto because I didn't put many points at all. I think I've only put 2 into UMD because, as you can see now, I'm beginning to be able to have enough anyway to use all the scrolls I could want at the end. But it did cause me problems during heroic leveling, so by all means throw more points in there if you would like to have the convenience of being able to use the heal scrolls and all that kind of good stuff. Raise dead from level 9. Take advantage of the prodigious UMD score the Warlock can get from early levels. Now I said I was going to rebuff and I'm stood here doing nothing, waffling. You know, I really should have some greater heroism scrolls as well. I think, in fairness, this is the first quest that's gone beyond my 3 belts of greater heroism. If you didn't know, that planar gird comes from the Zorian Cipher quest, a level 8 quest in Jurasco. Best done with at least one other person, but you can get around it if you have you need there are 4 pressure plates that need to be stood on at the same time, so if you have a way to activate all 4, like several hirelings or summons or something, you can get around that mechanic. That'll teach me for waffling. I got my ass kicked there. They were hitting quite hard. That said, I'm quite pleased with how he's stood up to it so far. I've taken characters in here, not even on Reaper, and been absolutely mullered. So far at least, well done to Purple. Now, does it display any of this bravery bonus at all? Is this just different? Maybe this doesn't give a bravery bonus, in which case well done to me for choosing this one. Oh, I see some red crownies. That's not good. We're in trouble here. We've still got one over there. Can we just hide from him a minute? Oh no. Yeah, damn red crown. Have some of that, boy. Yeah, you think you're doing okay, and one of those red crowns turns up and really scuppers your day. Oh god, I hear another one. That was a bit of a waste. A Tempest for just one thing, that was silly. Oh, I see a red caster there. Trying to make use of these waves of exhaustion where possible against them, because I'm guessing -6 strength would help me against them. Crikey, they're even making a dent in my spell point pool now. Now, do we have any others? No, just you two.
Very good.
They're doing me quite a big favour by only coming in 1s and 2s yet. Oh. Yeah, the Reapers are actually less dangerous than those red Hawthorns are.
Excellent.
Horns blare through the portals to announce the arrival of the attack.
Oh, one thing I was going to say,
This
I forgot about, the evergreen effect. The temporary spell points can be triggered by the aura. Now, I didn't know that. So your aura can just be ticking, as it is now, and that's another chance. It's classed as a spell, another chance to trigger those temporary spell points that we've been feeding so much of. Don't kill me. Come on, you like a happy ending, right? He's not... Oh, he's immune to my poison, but not to the... not to the acid. So that's something. Come on, Purple, get him. Do it. Yes! Feather in your cap, little Warlock. Love it. To the victors, the spoils.
What lies inside? Let me see.
I think, yeah, if you are running this particular quest just for tokens of the 12, I'm almost certain it makes more sense to run it on normal. The reason being, this chest can contain tokens of the 12 as well on normal for some reason, whereas on the Epic Plus, on the Elite Plus, it doesn't seem to. I got 1.5 out of there, whereas you can get 2 for... I mean, I could have just sat in the middle of the room on normal and let the aura kill everything and had a cup of coffee if I was just after the tokens. That's how straightforward that can be with an aura Warlock. Still delighted at how that went. I'm sorry if it's been a longer episode than usual. You can blame the respawning wave times for that, which is also probably the reason I'm still alive, because had they come at a more regular pace, I don't think I would have kept up there. That's the one downside, the lack of heal. I think I need to address that now. I need to go, I keep saying this, but I need to make a determined effort now. I'll take the last spell power maybe in there, and then I'll make an effort to come up here, get some fortification, and get this other heal in here. That'll be my one concession to survivability until we reach the cap, and then it's going to be all change. Although I still want some bare minimums in these trees. I want this third core for the 10 hit points it gives, so I want 11 in this tree, and I think I want a minimum of 13 in here for the third core, which 15% absorption is nice because that stacks with some absorption that is in this tree as well. Can you see the rank 3 there, and the mantle of the sentinel there is giving absorption anyway, so that could be nice to have. So I want 11 plus the 2 for that, because that's a very important part of my strategy with the extra 10 hit points it gives. So we're going to be losing obviously the evergreen, the mantle, the imbue dice and all that good stuff, but we'll keep 13 in there, I think 11 in here, and the rest will go in there. I have a feeling I'm not going to put too much into the armor class side of it, because looking at this, his defense is going to have to come from sources other than armor class, like displacement, PRR, MRR, and temp hit points, because I just don't ever see, even with all the past lives, I'm not sure he would have. I'm just trying to think. My main character Fools, I mean, he's cheating with all the martial past lives, but he has an armor class somewhere around 150, 160 at the cap in light armor. At this point, I would actually be pleased if this character, even sort of specking for tankiness, got anywhere near that. Looking at this, we'll just have to see how it goes, but I mean, if it can, I know Fools gets 1 or 2 misses at that level, so I'm not optimistic, to be honest, that we're going to get near there. But if we can, let's say 160 is the target armor class for the cap. If he can get near that, at least there'll be a few misses from the trash. That's about the best he's going to manage. Right, I've waffled on for long enough, so from the Fate Spinner's fountain, we will bid you a good day. Thank you very much for looking, and we'll speak to you soon. Take care.